a second ago that top 5 percentage, and I think we should talk about attack all around for a minute, because they're a team who have made it to the late game over here on Miramar. 30% of the time they're making it into the top 5, and obviously coming into tonight, we said they were all 1-1.
I'm hoping we go back to the first day that we saw from Unicorn Phoenix. Absolutely phenomenal. A win, 2 second places, 2 fourth places. You can't ask for much better than that, to be honest. But
it could do some damage. Obviously, it wouldn't be the ideal thing to see happen, having one player take on so many other individuals, but right now it looks like both squads relatively settled. Phase 2 is going to pop, and, well, if I didn't call it, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, this is not going to be too fun for Easy Esports. Eagle 365, BN United, 36 Cartel. All these teams starting to run into one another. I mean, even 36 Cartel are just sort of on the way past BN United. Wouldn't be surprised to see a knock coming through here or there in just a second. We're going to have to go past
we got a
Zest.
second. I was going to say, well, we got a second. Going into your codes. Just a reminder, I know a lot of people maybe listening along. Tab in, grab your code, throw it into the game, get yourself some esports points real quick. Get those skins, more importantly, show off just how good you are at the game. Flashier skins than anyone else. In this lobby, though, they don't need skins to show their skill, because players like Simon, well, they can just hit their shots, get in the knock onto Asba. Goes to flush it out as well. Doesn't quite work out for the flush, but now Asba, he exposed himself a little bit too far. Down he goes, flushed out as well. It's 36 Cartel, back in, out of here, gonna get their distance and try and get into zone, because this phase 2, well, it's so open up on the northern side. It's going to be rough to make it into.
Well, it was really inevitable, wasn't it? With 36C rotating past BN United so close, there was going to be some shots. There was going to be an exchange of fire, and someone was going to walk away pretty disappointed. In this case, it is 36C who have to play the game out as 3, but the rest of their rotation is looking relatively okay. If they get past Unicorn Phoenix, they should be okay, and I think they've managed to do so already. So, crazy the later stages are going to be. If we get a hard shift here, that's where it's going to start to break loose a little bit, and that is indeed a hard shift. Though, to be quite honest, it's probably not the worst hard shift we could have seen. If it would have gone south instead of north, that would have been chaos. But most teams are actually already up toward the northern side of the map, so there's actually not that many teams that really have to move, so it's kind of worked out.
Well, you got to think that southern side is just a valley, pretty much. It is wide open. Whereas Jumasera obviously got a lot of space inside it. Team's going to be able to work with up to the north as well. A lot more ridgeline. We actually spoke about Seiryu earlier as one of those teams up on the north that had a good position. They had themselves beautiful ridges, a nice hillside, nice high ground, everything that you really want in the early game for grabbing info. And now it's just transitioned to an amazing late game position with this zone shift. They are dead center. Shibori, not exactly dead center, so they try to make a rotate in onto the east. It's Unicorn Phoenix that are going to attempt to hold them out on this push. A team that last week did big things. This time, though, they've still got a lot to prove. VODS, though, is there to open up the initial shots, does the damage onto one, gets the knock onto the other.
sSuspekT.
Never mind, caster cursed at him. sSuspekT from range. Third party's in. VODS falls as dapblue goes to the trade. Shaman eliminated. All it's going to take is one underhand nade onto that wall, but no, it's not being found. I'm not sure whether Unicorn Phoenix even have the info onto where these Shibori players are, as now they try to backfill. Skeet there with the spray, but it just doesn't land as Rogue sends it in. dapblue, his days are looking numbered if he doesn't get this first aid kit off.
Well, he's got the reinforcements starting to come back through from Van. The rest of UNP is rolling in hot. Jowman getting res. Chu is there as well. Another nade! And a perfect toss from Van. Gets rid of Julio. Oh, dearie me. It's starting to fall apart for MSC. dapblue, I've no idea how he wins that duel, but he gets it done. And MSC is obliterated by Unicorn Phoenix.
That is so unfortunate there for Shibori as they open things up so aggressively. It looked like things were going to go their way as Unicorn Phoenix, they got the 4 kills. Brilliant for them, but the zone is closed in. They've got a ways to go. Phase 3. Now 40 seconds till consolidation. As the western side, well, it's looking equally tricky right now as Y8 tries to scout out for info onto Eagle 365. He takes the opening shots without realizing the Jekzy is down below. He connects with a headshot onto Hanzyy, does the damage, but Jekzy decides to push up. Well, Y8's going to be in trouble instead, though. He holds that trigger discipline, lays down a prone and chills at the bottom. Cerberus just threading the needle, going on those central positions by Chumacera's. Honestly, most teams don't have to make much of a movement right now looking at their position. Sure, they want to try and get something central, but the next shift could cause major problems. Game Home ready to cause some problems onto Cerberus. This is as the zone shifts up north. Game Home now about to become the gatekeepers.
It's just north shift after north shift after north shift, isn't it, right now on Miramar? This is crazy. And this is going to be a dangerous zone. This is going to be a dangerous rotation. Lots of teams having to come out of Chumacera. Lots of teams going to have to come out from the southern part of the map and move toward the north. The big winners, BN United, Seiryu, Easy Esports, and Made in Thailand. All teams that are quite happy not having to move too much. Even ArkAngel Predator has a 2-2 split, so they're not in the worst of places either. Cerberus, with their 4, have just sent it into the only piece of cover that they can really find. And it's a little shack on top of the hill. Sololzy, you know, just on the extremity there, I suppose, has a little compound to work with. Might end up being where Cerberus does rotate to 36C on the rotation past. Don't seem to be copying too much damage. Could be worse. They've gotten there to relative safety. At least player 4 has, I should say. sSuspekT is there with him.
They're good. As long as no nade comes up over the top. Look, on the topic of that position that Cerberus grabbed, it is a very strong position. It's a really strong compound to work with. The downside could come, though, from Game Home Hadong. Obviously, right now, they're focused on holding out the teams to the south. They're going to be in that gatekeeper position. Zako Ram playing a gatekeeper position of their own, doing big damage onto Unicorn Phoenix. It looks like they're just going to be crashing in something. Player 4, sSuspekT, swing out wide. The sSuspekT opens up with a mini 14. He tries to take a second, but it doesn't work out. Player 4's there for the trade, but not before he loses his teammate, Player 4. One of 2 remaining players for 36 Cartel. It's Unicorn Phoenix finished off by attack all around as the vehicle about to blow up. It limits the amount of cover that 36 Cartel are going to have going into the later game. Fury, no cover of their own, only a ridge to work with as the nades come up. Ykikamucow tanking a lot of damage, might go down to the blue zone. That's exactly what happens. More fights further to the south kicking off, though, as ArkAngel Predator, they have lost one, trying to get aggressive. It's mayhem right now, Jordan.
Oh, this is not looking fun for Fury at all. They have to go right past Colony. Fludd and Ronon have no cover to work with at all, and they're getting farmed. It's just Insight that's going to go whizzing on past. And that is probably the end of the run for Fury here on Miramar. Insight, he might be able to get a kill point or 2, but he's certainly not going to be able to pick up a chicken dinner on his own when there's so many strong teams still left alive. Can get some revenge if Colony send it in his direction, but he's off to the races, down to 31 HP. There's players all around. Look at that kill feed as well, by the way. It's just lighting up, and that's what we said. The start of the game was really quiet, really slow, but when we get into phases, you know, 4, 5, that's where things really start to get a little bit hectic, and it's a bit too much for the majority of the teams down toward the south. Another northern shift. BN United, absolutely pleased. So is Seiryu. And Cerberus not quite as much, nor is Game Home, but that's a nice nade. Venotica, you'll take that one every day of the week.
Beautifully done there from Venotica to find the 2 Insight falls, as well as 11 teams now remain. Only 40 players, though, so shows that a lot of them have been spread thin. The rotations made things tricky. Daytrade going to try and make things equally tricky for Sharper Esports if they can at least grab the high ground. It's going to be a tricky one, though, with so many teams around. 36 Cartel, Cherry looking right at Jayers. Decides not to take the shots, and probably a smart play with the current position, with the current amount of cover Cherry has, and the distance between him and his teammate, Nann, opens up onto tNoy, but almost there for the trade immediately. Venotica still playing point as the revive attempts are going to come out. Just watching over this ridge ever so carefully. Sharper now going for a res of their own, working up the ridge line. Daytrade very cautious with how they want to push this. Belmoth not so much. He's built himself a smoke wall. He's trying to get over to that high ground, but he's maybe expecting Daytrade to be a bit further up themselves. Nades come through as tanoi's down low. He gets the first aid kit off. One frag isn't going to be enough to finish off the job anymore there. Nerds ends up falling to the frag grenade as Venotka and Puchu's both going to be down to low HP. Venotka still playing 0.6 axe with the 3x M4. Goes to the spray through the smoke. Can't get the kill though. Does the damage, applies the pressure. Nade comes out over the top. Can it connect? Not this time, but I'm sure there's plenty more to follow, Elfish.
Oh, this is a close fight. Belmoth, how's he gotten here? How's he gotten there without Daytrade knowing? It's a 1-for-1 in the end. tNoy getting dropped by Flash. It's quite good for Sharper, all things considered. It's Puchil's the last one alive. He's inside the zone, but Maximus gets dropped. Sololzy, Cerberus are in the fight now as well. Sharper have bitten off more than they could chew. And Puchil's keeps it alive for Daytrade for but a moment before he goes down to the zone. But they have to say thank you very much to Cerberus. We'll hold that thought for the moment because ArkAngel Predator are getting into a fight as well. Game home out of the picture in 8th. It's an absolute mess, Chunks.
Evil Patrick right there. You saw how confident was he that he got the knock. He even ended up flicking onto the second player, took both of them down low, but in the end, it was his teammate that comes along and finishes up the job. Haizaki, he knows that there were players up in the kill feed. He knows that they're at least going to be damaged, so he wants to try and finish off the job himself. Peeks up over, tries to get a line of sight on CJ, but it's not being found. Don't forget about Evil Patrick further down below, as it's going to be Mad Dog taking the initial fire right now to provide pressure. Nades coming out over the top, little close, but not close enough to really find any kills. Spoke too soon. CJ goes down as Patrick also tagged down low. Smokes it up to break the line of sight. First aids revives all going to be coming out, and just look at Seiryu's position right now, still inside that compound. They've got so lucky with the zone, and they might just be able to make it a second chicken dinner if they can frag out of it.
Well, it certainly would be a real turn of events that we didn't expect here for week number 2 if Seiryu can pick up a couple on day number 1. 36C making the job more difficult for Cerberus by getting the knock on to Sololzy. Algorithm still says BN United, but not by a huge stretch. Attack all around might be a dark horse, an outside chance in this round, but everyone else looks to be up the creek without a paddle. Easy Esports down to 3. ArkAngel Predator in this battle against Cerberus and also don't have their full cohort left alive. 36 Cartel, the same can be said for them, just the 2. So it's a bit of a mess out here down to the south, down towards the western side of the map as well. And ArkAngel Predator might be meeting their makers quite soon indeed. Evil Patrick on fire, running away from the zone. And Cerberus with the high ground. Once these smokes start to fade, once those shots start to come through from the north, from attack all around, I think ArkAngel Predator will not be finding a foot in this fight.
That was so rough right there. If Evil Patrick had a Molotov, no, he probably would have been able to get the flush, even get a second knock. Let's see if maybe CJ can survive any longer. Not to be, as ArkAngel Predator, they fall down in 7th. But now Cerberus, well, they thought they were home and safe, ready to run down the hillside. Shin V says, no, no, no. Gets the knock, takes down Hymus. It's Fap and Sololzy both going for the heals, just laying prone, ready to snake their way in. Phase 6 closing through. They don't really have any time to work with. They do at least have a first aid kit, though. Y8 looking up the hill, going to try and find an angle onto Fap. At his current health, it would have taken only 1 bullet to find the knock, but it's not to be, as player 4 from 36 Cartel tries to get involved. It's Seiryu, the team that we spoke about as such a good early game position, now starting to take a lot of fire out of the compound, and can you blame them? They have been, no other way to put it, gifted with the zone right now, but it's all about what you do with it, and they take down 36 Cartel, showing that, sure, they got the zone, but they can also get the kills.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to be seeing now for Seiryu. Yes, they have the zone, they have the positioning, but they also want to be making sure they get as many kills on the board as possible. Attack all around. They look like they're in a pretty bad spot here. It's a shooting gallery for Seiryu. And there's no real cover to speak to for attack all around. Yes, a little bit of a defilade, but he's headed in that direction. Not sure they're quite going to get the distance there from BN United, but it still continues to keep attack all around under pressure. Where does the circle shift go? That is a big question.
Oh. BN United, I thought they were out of nade range there. They managed to find 2 of them. That's Gems and Glooms both being eliminated. to 1 nade. That was pretty huge there from YungB, as now more shots start to rain through from above. It's Easy Esports trying to thread the needle, finish off that final player. Jay is down low. The vehicle's about to blow, though. Oh, it nearly lands on him, but he's still in it for at least a couple seconds until How is there to finish off the job.
Well, that circle shift is going to give us a bit more of an interesting finish than what it might have looked like it would. Being United, Seiryu, it felt like if the circle would have gone over their compound, they were running away with the victory quite easily. But now both teams have to move out. It's a good job done by BN United to get rid of attack all around, because that gives them full control of the northern side of the map. They can take up residence where attack all around left off. dRycK sets him up with some makeshift cover. And that's not the worst thing to happen to him. So BN United now looking good to perhaps put their first win on the board for the week. Seiryu still, as of yet, haven't left their compound, and they're a little bit preoccupied with what's happening above them on the hills. Cerberus and Easy Esports still a factor to consider.
Now, that it's a risky one for them. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure the players up the hill get eliminated first. They have a bit of a safer run down this ridge line, but they need to be careful with it. BN United takes down XinV, so switching their attention. Simon, 3 bullets left in his SLR right there. He's going to have to try and grab some off of his teammate. The nades, flashes all come now over the top as Klee's been taken down low. Y8 has a nade in hand. sLozy doing what he can to try and return the fire over onto Seiryu. There, Fat falls. sLozy is the final player left. tRycK ends up falling as well, though, as now Ryu forced to move down the hillside. Fap and sLozy both go down. That Cerberus out of its sunshine, still in the compound, trying to find an angle onto BN United. He does, but dRycK gets down behind the vehicle, manages to heal himself up. How gets the res himself, as the smokes are the only real form of cover that Ryu have to work with right now from BN United. If they can maybe make it down a little bit further, they can have themselves a ridge, but they're still going to be in trouble. They're in trouble from the side, though. Easy Esports over the top. Nades coming through. dNial falls as Zest tries to flush out the kill. Doesn't know as they switch up their direction, trying to head further down to the south instead. Y8 there, spotted out How can't find the shots just yet, though. He's not peeking, waiting for Sunshine to heal up, maybe?
I mean, all in this meanwhile, you're seeing BN United take control of the map, and you're just thinking, this is BN United's game to lose. A nice headshot through there onto dRycK from XinV. He's going to put him down below half, but it's not enough to really trouble the scorers for BN United. Seiryu will lose a tRycK. YungB will ensure that he's not getting picked up, even if there was half a thought from Seiryu in that direction. Rez coming across onto How, but Seiryu, I mean, they're on a knife's edge. They're really clinging on for dear life at this point in time. At least Easy Esports has some cover to work with, but the same cannot be extended for Seiryu.
Well, they're still in it, so it's not out yet. Considering they had such a strong early game position, it's a shame that things have gone like this. That zone just being brutal towards them. Sunshine tries to hop in the vehicle, doesn't work out, as S is going to be there to pick up 1 kill. Trying to follow it up with a second onto How. Knows where the player's going to be, pops the tires to make sure he's not going to have the same mistake as last time, looking up over the top. How just laying prone as best as possible. Easy Esports, they use it as their opportunity to run, but BN United, look, they've got 4 players strong. They're not getting distracted that easy. Simon T opens up over the top, gets the M4 spray, takes down Klee, but Zest, he falls to How in return. Klee flushed out as finally it looks like Ryu are finished off. Simon T with the kill. There it is.